Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Barry V Show. I'm Barry Vanover. This is Miles Baker. Our show today is brought to you by Studio Pro, martial arts management software designed by martial artists for martial artists. And Studio Pro, only exclusively on the Ask Barry V Show, Studio Pro currently is offering a 6-month free trial program. You can get the software. You can be using the software for your point of sale, for your attendance tracking, for your certificate printing, for your inventory, for your statistics, for your billing, tuition, but everything for 6 months totally free. Now, Studio Pro is only $1.99 a month.
Yep.
And then depending on very, very large schools with tons and tons of billing and large data, it's like an extra $40 a month if you're billing over like so many thousands and thousands, $50,000, $60,000 or something. I don't know the details, but it's very, very inexpensive really to use the software.
Yep.
So they're not like a billing company. They're not trying to get 9.8% of your money.
Right.
You know, I mean, God only asked for 10%, right? Is that what he asked for?
I think that's
Is 10%?
pretty true.
Right? So how,
Yep.
if God gets 10%, I think everybody else should get a lower percentage, don't you?
I agree.
What have you been up to lately?
I was on vacation.
You went to Bonnaroo, huh?
I went to Bonnaroo.
How was
great.
that?
It was great.
Did
U2 was awesome. That was great.
So I text you and I was encouraging you to find your inner Joe Rogan
Yeah.
at Bonnaroo. Did you find?
No, I didn't.
You
Was my wife and I were sipping coffee at 3 a.m. trying to stay awake and watch shows, and all the young kids were having a good time.
Nice.
But it was great. It was lots of fun, and now back in the saddle, training.
Yep.
Going to Battle of Atlanta this weekend.
Yep.
So we're excited
Going to
about
Battle of Atlanta, we're speaking and going to go watch some cool competition.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
going to be awesome. That's always a great show.
Yeah.
The Ruth brothers do a great job of putting on the
Yeah.
battle, and since they've been taking it over, it's totally awesome.
Cool.
So hopefully, anybody that tomorrow will actually be at the Battle of Atlanta tomorrow as we film this.
Yeah.
So you probably will be over by the time you're watching this. So forget about it. You should have been at the Battle of Atlanta. Okay. Last week I was in Boston,
Yep.
up there working with some school owners, and I did some seminars and events. It was totally awesome. So it was funny how you were on vacation partying and I was working. It's
Yep.
kind of weird.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. All right. But this week I'm on vacation.
That's true.
So
And I will be working.
Yeah,
So that's
all right.
good. All right. So get to the questions here. Our first one comes from S. Silva. He says, I have done birthday parties for many years, but I have a problem. I have and tried different things to generate hot leads from the birthday kids' friends, but nothing seems to work for me. What would you recommend?
So I don't really know the details of his birthday parties, but
Well, I don't understand how. But he said generate hot leads from the birthday parties,
I guess
friends.
Birthday,
birthday kids' friends. But they're already there. They're at the party.
They're there.
So
They're in the
there's
door.
there's the lead generation.
Yeah. That's
So
half the
maybe
battle.
maybe he's talking about trying to get appointments set, converting
Maybe.
them to appointments and students from the birthday party, right? Because he's already got the leads. The leads are in the building. Every time a kid and family walks in for any birthday party, they're supposed to sign a registration form and liability waiver where you got all their contact information. So now it's what you do with that contact information. I think so. We've gone over this a couple times, but let's give Mr. Silva a rundown. 2 ways that we're going to affect that birthday party. We're either going to you should do an awesome karate presentation and class for all the birthday party kids, as well as games and all that. But you're going to funnel these kids into next Saturday's mass intro. So you're giving them the awesome job card. You're telling them they're coming back next Saturday for the second part of the birthday kids party. They're all getting free uniforms. They're all going to earn their first martial arts belt. They're all breaking real boards next week in front of their mom and dad. And then you're having a pizza party. Then, of course, you got their contact information on the Thursday night before. You're going to call all the parents and confirm that. Now, that phone call is so easy. That's like picking up the phone and going, hey, Miss Johnson, this is Barry at Premier Martial Arts. Your son Tommy was at Billy's birthday party last Saturday. That was a great party, wasn't it? Okay, great. Don't forget that all the birthday kids are coming back this Saturday. They're going to take another martial arts class. They're all getting free uniforms. All the kids are earning their first martial arts belt, and they're going to be breaking real boards in front of you and your husband, okay? You remember where we're located, right? All right, great. We'll see you there. Click, hang up, done. The next day on Friday now, we text everybody another reminder, or even wait and text them early Saturday morning. First thing they get up, oh, we can't forget to go to Billy's second part of his birthday party or so forth, right? So that's one way that we do it. And if your presentation is good and it was a fun party, why wouldn't all the kids want to come back next Saturday? Now, if they don't, here's what we do to follow that up. If if any of those birthday kids don't come next Saturday to the mass intro, then we call them, tell them, hey, we noticed you missed the second part of Tommy's birthday party. So a lot of the kids came. A lot of the kids are trying their school out. We wanted to call and we wanted to schedule you a time to come in and do this second part of the party privately with us one-on-one. You'll get the uniform, still earning the belt, still breaking the board. And then we just do our normal 2-lesson trial program procedures. So that's kind of like our little safety net. We're trying to get them to come in and schedule a one-on-one. If they come to the mass intro and they don't show up, then if they come to the mass intro and they don't sign up, then we call them and basically say, hey, we noticed you came to the second part of Tommy's birthday party and a lot of his friends signed up, but you guys didn't. I wanted to extend 2 weeks of free class for you guys to come try our school with all of your son's friends, okay? So that's another last-ditch effort, so to speak. Now, the only other thing we would do there is if we have a couple staff members at the party, we will try to schedule private introductory lessons. So we do the spin wheel concept where it lands on an instant prize. Every birthday kid gets an instant prize, but they also win a free introductory course that we try to schedule with their parents that next week. And then we do our normal 2-lesson trial program systems. Okay. Now that is how we convert birthday party kids into students. Schedule private one-on-one appointments and mass intro promotions. Okay. Hopefully that helped, Mr. Silva.
Absolutely.
Mr. Silva, if I'm totally didn't read that right and I answered your question wrong, just shoot me a personal email or I'll give you a call and talk about it one-on-one, okay?
And as you were talking, I was thinking about how many kids come through birthday parties that
A ton of kids come.
right? And then, but a good amount may not come back to the mass intro, may not ever schedule that private intro. So they just go right into your email funnel.
Mm-hmm.
You send when you're doing a promotion or something, you're sending a text blast to them. I mean, just over the last 2 years, from all the women's self-defense seminars and the birthday parties and all the other mass intros we do, we've got just such a large database that we can always send a text and an email to. So, there's birthday kids that come and sign up that came to a birthday party 2 years ago.
Right. And since we were talking about Studio Pro earlier, because most of the Premier Martial Arts schools use it, and it doesn't matter. As long as your software has the ability, every lead that comes from your website should get dumped automatically into your software. Every single lead that you gather from promotional booths, birthday parties, all sources need to go into that software and need to be categorized as a lead so that they get dropped into an email sales funnel. They start getting a series of emails timed out to try to continue selling those prospects. And you can always go back and work those prospects. And every software should have a nice note section that when your staff maybe is making phone calls, they can keep notes on that phone call and then schedule maybe the follow-up call. They're calling a family that to try to schedule a 2-lesson program and the family's going on vacation in the next 3 weeks. Okay, well, can I call you, let's say, in 4 weeks after you guys get back from vacation? And then they schedule it in their calendar to make that phone call. That's real lead management and follow-through in an organization there. So regardless of what software you use, I'm sure your software does that, but make sure you're implementing it,
Our next question comes from Vinny S. He says, hello, Barry. I met you years ago, and I've always appreciated
Vinny?
and respected your knowledge of the industry. I'm opening my school. The landlord will be done with the build-out in September. It's a small school, 1,200 square feet, with about 700 square feet of mat space. My goal is to have at least 30 paying students by opening day. My plan is to start 2 months out with mass intros, which I will teach at church across the street from my location. Facebook advertising, promotional booths, and rack cards. Do you have any further advice as far as reaching my goal, pre-opening offers, costs for classes once I open, or anything else you can think is important? Thank you for the advice.
Man, I think, one, you're going to make a ton of money at this school because our new model for premier schools is called an S1X. It's 1,200 square feet. We can afford to be in the nicest, richest shopping centers. So therefore, marketing becomes really simple and easy. Your overhead's going to be low, and you're going to have 160 students is going to make you a ton of money. And I really think, 30 students in 2 months before you even open, that's a good goal. You might even be able to do more. Ricky Lamb signed up 67 new students in May. 67 new students in 1 month. John Lyles in Lubbock, Texas, signed up 74 new students in May. here's how they did it. I asked them the question, and then maybe I put this in our weekly management meeting or something. I asked each one of them, what was, of all those students you signed up, which are crazy record numbers, and these are martial arts students.
Yeah.
These aren't kickboxing people
Not
or
trials.
fitness students or a $29.95 gym membership. These people are paying down payments and paid in fulls, and they're paying $125, $150 a month for martial arts lessons, right? To get 74 and 69 or something like that. It's crazy. So I asked, what's your number one method of marketing to those people that month? What was your go-to? Both of them separately said mass intro promotions. We ran a lot of mass intros, and we promoted it on Facebook. Okay. So Vinny, I think you did say Facebook,
Yep, you did.
but hopefully you're doing that right, because you should be able to sign up 30 people in 2 months just from Facebook marketing alone, plus generating leads. I would have a Facebook lead ad generation to be getting leads to call when you do open for 2 lesson trial programs. I would be, if you have the facility at that church, you can be doing 2 lesson trial programs as well as mass intros and collecting down payments and starting to build your billing check right now as well. Make sure your website is up now. Whenever you start running Facebook advertising, you want to make sure your website is up. You're already doing promotional boosts to gather leads. You're going to put rack cards out there. You're promoting the mass intros on Facebook. Man, that should do it. Honestly, I think you've got the idea and you've got the plan. And keep us informed, because I really want to know if you want to hit that. Let's do this though. Just so we can keep contact with each other. Let's change that. Go from 30 to at least 40 new students before you ever open. Okay, and I want to help you reach this goal. So if you need to follow up with a private phone call with me, email me. Let's talk about this. I think you're on the right track, and I think you're going to do amazing. But I would like to follow through and make sure you get this done. Because nothing would be
That'd be cool to hear.
cool to hear that you did it, and if we could help you further in making sure that happened, would be even. Is cooler a word?
It is now.
Can you use it twice? Because I think I've just used it twice. Okay, yeah,
Sure.
we can do what we want. Cool.
Our next question comes from Ken T. He says, I'm thinking of changing the name of my school. Any advice on how to do this? Should I use both names for a while?
Changing the name of your school? Well, I have a lot of experience in that, because we've had over 100 people change their name from whatever it was to Premier Martial Arts. Here's the thing. Change your name. Announce it to your students immediately of your name change with a nice letter, Change your website immediately and time that with the change of the name on your Facebook, which might take a couple weeks to happen, right, on Facebook. And change your signage out front. Try to do all of this at the exact same time and be done with it. Nobody cares what the name of the school is. I guarantee you a lot of people in your area know there's a martial arts school in your plaza where you're at, but they don't actually know the real name of your school anyway, right? They just see the word karate or martial arts or whatever. So don't even sweat it. But do not use both names at the same time, because it's hard to put on you can't put it on Facebook, both names. It's hard to put it on your website, both names. Make sure you got the new name on everything. Forget about the old name. No, you won't even miss a beat. But if you use both names, it causes brand confusion. People get a little bit confused. So I would not do that. And that should be simple and easy. Hey, let's stop and talk about the tip of the show.
Yep.
The tip of the show that I want to talk about is, do you really know your instructors or your staff members? We all like to think we know our staff and we're in tune, but as we grow into multiple locations, we start hiring people from without our organization, hiring people from without even inside our school. They're not our students anymore. And even if they are your students, how much do you really know about your own students, right? You may think because they've trained you in your style of martial arts and you see them at dinners or graduations or testing, you got a feel for who they are, but you really don't know.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm saying this is you guys really need to do background checks and have that paper in their file, because, if your staff does something, you're kind of responsible for it. And you not knowing about your staff isn't an excuse for them to do something. You're the owner. You're supposed to know their background if they have problems. Also, make sure you do a drug test with your employees. Now, you don't have to test for, every single little drug. Nick's over here, our tech guy's looking at me like I want to test him for weed or something. Just chill, bro. Just chill. Right? We're talking about the hard stuff that is I shouldn't even get in. I can't believe I just said that.
Well, different states have different laws.
Different states have different
drug
laws,
testing
so
would be different. In
exactly,
different states.
right? Exactly. So my point is, have cameras in your school that are recording everywhere that you can see the students. Make sure that you educate your staff members on how to deal with other staff members, okay? Making sure there's no misconduct, how to deal with your mothers, how the relationships they're supposed to not have with the adult students, and even the kids, not going into a bathroom where there's a kid by themselves and just walking out till the kid's done, and then stuff like that. You want to make sure and that you know who your staff members really are and keep up with them. And then the ones you do have, make sure they're educated in all these things to keep your students safe and keep your business safe. The next thing I want to talk about staff members, I honestly feel that 90%, 95% of all staff members are good-hearted, hardworking people, and that usually it's the owner that has failed to train the staff members to a level that the staff can really have an impact on their business. Whether that's intentional or the owner just really doesn't have systems to teach them, or the lack of his ability to really train them to that level. That said, sometimes you got to know when it's time to say goodbye to a staff member or an instructor. Guys, don't keep people around because you're too lazy to find somebody else. Don't keep people around because you don't know who else to find, right? That's not an excuse. If these people, you can't trust them, if you can't rely on them to help you take your business to the next level, if you can't have a little freedom and get away from your school, and God forbid you start finding out your staff members are lying, it's time to let them go. Look, your job for staff members is to train them extremely well, right? Define their goals and actions, retrain them if necessary. So you're keeping up with their goals and actions and statistics. So you're kind of keeping an idea of whether they're getting the training and implementing it. If not, provide retraining for them. Hang in there with them. Then you got to hold them accountable. At one point, they should be trained enough that they should hit certain numbers for you. They should hit certain objectives for you. And if they don't do it, it's time to let them go, right? Don't have dead weight. A dead weight employee is a liability, right? So sometimes you just got to know when to get rid of people. Throughout my years of teaching martial arts, my spider sense has gone off more than once that I knew something was wrong. Sometimes it gets confusing and you wonder if it's in your head, but more times than not, that intuition inside of you is telling you, man, I should get rid of this person.
Right. Yep.
Just now, don't get rid of them until you find their replacement, but actively be looking for their replacement. I don't want you to cause yourself any more work or any more stress, but count them like I do as the walking dead. And to you, they're walking dead and all they're fired. They just don't know it. And you're looking for their replacement ASAP. Okay. That was the tip of the show.
Tip of the show.
Awesome.
It was a good one because, as you said, a lot of
employees just hang on to bad staff for way too long.
Yeah.
It's just cost them time and money. And one thing you didn't mention, I hear you say a lot, is not only are you doing yourself and your school and business a favor by letting that person go, you're doing them a favor so they can move on and find something that they're going to be more successful at.
Right, because they're just dragging their feet here. What do you want to keep them around for years and then they miss out on other things that they might be good at because they're obviously not good at what you're trying to get them to do.
Exactly, right. So our last question for this week is TRE Ash goes, love your show. I have a local competitor that has a lock on one of the elementary schools. They are the only karate school they allow in for events and for school talks. What should I do?
Ooh, that's a good one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she said, love your show. Where is that? Wasn't that like on the opening of some TV show or call-in radio show?
Maybe so.
They'd always go, love your show. Mm-hmm. She probably knows what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So Tara has a local competitor school that has a really locked-in relationship with one of their big elementary schools. Mm-hmm. That karate school's the only one they're letting in for school talks, letting in for events or promotions, and they're just blocking. The school won't let any other martial arts school in.
Sounds like it.
So this may sound a little weird. Hang on, I got choked. This is going to sound mean. It's going to sound totally contrary to the fun, loving, I love everybody, Barry Vanover. Okay? However, you got to remember that elementary school is doing an unfair thing, right? They're allowing a martial arts school to come in to their elementary school. But they're not giving any of the other martial arts schools an opportunity to come in as well. See, I don't care if, at our elementary schools if they let other martial arts schools in or not, as long as they let me in, because I know that my product, my service, my promotions will be superior and I'll win out. That's just fair. Let us all in and let the best survive, right? But they're not even giving you a chance to do that. So I would probably have a conversation with the principal about what I just said. Listen, this school always gets in. Have your owner go over there, or if you're the owner, you go over there. This school always gets in. We can never get in to do anything. We just don't feel that it's fair. We have a lot of kids in this elementary school, just like they do, and we feel like we should be represented. If you're going to let one martial arts school in, you should let both of us in at different times of year and make it equal and make it fair. Most principals are going to understand that concept, okay? If they don't, then they're even being more unfair. And I would rather, if I can't go in also, I'd rather them not be able to go in. So I would probably have a bunch of my mothers call the school board and complain because they're letting one martial arts school in but not letting their kids' martial arts school in. If enough moms call and complain to the principal of that elementary school and complain to the school board, they're either going to let you in and give you equal time, or they're going to let no martial arts school in. And I would rather the no martial arts school concept happen than for them to be unfair and only let that guy come in and market instead of letting me. Sounds hardcore, sounds mean, but
both sides are fair. Either no one can go in or everyone can go in.
that's my thinking. Yeah. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
That's it.
That's
week.
it?
Yep.
All right. Very good, guys. All right. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next time on the Ask Barry V Show.